Gotcha.
Sweet.
All right, let me see. Let me go ahead and what do I need to do? I need to raise this up here. Hold on 1 second. We made it happen. I think that's like the most
Right on.
difficult part of every interview. So we're already off to a good start.
Perfect. How's it going?
It's going well, man. I appreciate you making time.
Yeah. This is okay. I'm gonna admit I'm a little bit fanboying right now because I think I've been following you for a few years.
You know,
But
I'll let the cat out of the bag on this kind of stuff, which is interesting. There's just some peculiar thing about the internet, and social media, and you see some folks on there, and truth be told, regular dude like everybody else. My wife gets the biggest kick out of this,
right.
sees somebody and she's like, they don't know you're just a regular idiot like the rest of us, do they? And I was like, shh, you're gonna blow my cover.
Yeah.
Don't tell
Don't
anybody.
tell anyone the secret.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
So I'm up here in Washington State. Where are you
Yep.
located?
So I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, a little bit south of Nashville. I'm actually originally from Portland, Oregon, and I've got
Okay.
family all over Washington. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
very cool.
yeah, originally from the West Coast. We came out here about 13 years ago.
Adrian Bosman just moved out from the West Coast. He lives in Nashville now.
Yep. And what's funny is I think he drove by my house on his way to visit one of the boxes. And the best part was I was working out outside and he kind of like drove by and he's like, what's going on over there? And that was the last I saw. But I'm 99% sure it was him. I saw him driving by and I was like, look. So
He's,
yeah.
he's a unique looking character. You probably were correct on that. So
Yeah.
now I'm jealous that you're out there in Nashville. That's a fantastic place to be. I've enjoyed any trip I've ever done to Tennessee. But give us a little backstory on yourself.
Sure.
Physical fitness background. Getting into CrossFit, all that kind of good history.
Okay. Yeah. So real quick, I'm almost 52. I've got a wife, 3 kids. One of them works out with me, one of my kids. And I think I started, I want to say it was early 2007. Before that, I was a gym rat. What's that?
So that was a while ago. You've been at it for a bit.
Yeah. Which, looking at some of my workouts and performance is like, oof, was I really here that long? But before that, I mean, I was a total gym rat. I decided that I wanted to start running. So started getting really into running seriously for a couple years, still working out. But I was, bro session all the way. And then ended up getting hurt running and decided I didn't want to run anymore. And about that time, I Googled, I want to say it was early 2007. But I Googled garage gym or working out in my garage, and there was these crazy videos that popped up, like Amundsen and Josh Everett.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think Pat Sherwood might have been in a few of those. But I was looking at that and going, I'm huge. These guys I can do that, no problem. And that was my first mistake. And so I did Linda. I found the main site, started following that. And like I said, at the time, I thought I was in pretty good shape. I thought I was pretty jacked. And I had, this is just the first mistake of many, right? But I had I think I had 200 pounds worth of weights, and it was the old bars that had screw-on collars on them.
Oh,
so
sure.
I went down to my garage. Yeah, I went down to my garage and just went for it. And I threw up at round 7. I dry heaved at 5, 3, and 1. It took, I want to say it was like 40 minutes or something like that. It was just horrible. I ended up laying on the garage floor, just like I wanted to crawl into the concrete and just die. My kids came down and they were like, oh no, and ran inside, and my oldest said, Mom, I think Dad's dead.
Right. Fair. Yeah, fair assessment.
So yeah, I couldn't walk for a week. I couldn't move for a week. And I was hooked. So that was it.
Isn't that great? And
yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you could categorize that as several things that aren't great, right? Reckless, potentially
Absolutely.
negligent, potentially injurious, how you would never want to indoctrinate somebody, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And I think as the years have gone on, people have gotten smarter. The way they've introduced themselves to CrossFit has become smarter.
Definitely.
There's more knowledge and stuff out there. But to use that old overdone phrase back in the old days. Back in the old days, like that story that you just said, that
Right.
introduction to CrossFit, that warms my
That was,
heart because I mean, I've
yeah.
heard so many of those. That was my sort of introduction. Like, did
Yeah.
way too much, way too
Oh,
soon, with
absolutely.
no idea what I was doing, and basically just got punched in the face.
Yep. Yep. And I think I kept getting punched in the face until I could actually withstand the punches.
I was
I
going to
think I,
say, you
yeah,
kept coming back.
yeah, I kept coming back because I guess I'm not that smart. At the time, I wasn't that smart. But I started my garage. I was doing that. And then there was a 24-hour fitness that opened up down the road. And I got kicked out of 24-hour fitness, myself and two other guys.
Amazing.
And then I called the next day to see if I could get my money
Well,
back.
you
And
got to tell us. You got to tell us what got you kicked out. What was the act that did
you
it?
know, I think it was kipping in the squat rack,
Okay.
because there was a bar above, and so we were kipping, and then there was a bunch of things, and so yeah, we got asked to leave, but I called the manager the next day, like I said, to get my money back, and he says, "Wait, were you one of the ones that got kicked out? Yeah. Were you doing that CrossFit stuff? Yeah." And he goes, "You need to come back in."
Oh, really?
So yeah, so he was like a strongman competitor, and he was just absolutely enthralled with what he was seeing online. So he actually gave us access to the training area, like the personal training area. So right away we got a lifting platform. There was a pull-up bar. I think there was those metal frame jump
I
plyo
remember
boxes.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will
um,
test your accuracy.
oh, yeah. I was one of the lucky ones that made it through. But yeah, there was a couple of us that worked out there, and it was basically you'd go in and there'd be a piece of notebook paper taped to the wall with the workout of the day, which was right from the main site, and then you put your name and your time. And I think about a month into it, we did Murph, and I was working out at night at the time, and I went in the next day, and they had left the piece of paper up, and the guy who put the workouts up put a little note. He goes, "I can't believe you stuck it out that whole time," because
That's
it was
awesome.
like, yeah. So anyway, we got kicked out, and we got to come back, and I was still working out in my garage, but I didn't have a lot of equipment, so I was building a lot of stuff like basketball med balls and rings and that type of
Oh,
thing.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so I still have the rings. I don't know what happened to the med ball. I have a flat basketball in the backyard. I might, just for fun, make a new one, new med ball. But then shortly after
That's
that,
the cool old stuff that
oh
I
yeah,
feel like I shouldn't say I feel like it's gotten lost. Maybe I'm just being too nostalgic or whatnot, but I kind of feel like it's gotten lost because don't get me wrong. I've got beautiful gear in my garage gym,
right,
and I love it. Like
yeah,
it makes life easier, but it is cool to think back of like, hey, if you can afford the gear, you'll get what you pay for. It'll make
right,
your experience better. Like it's a
right.
bar that spins beautifully is a wonderful thing.
Yep,
But with just some creativity, some ingenuity, some Google searching, and some free
yeah,
time, you can piece together some gear and get yourself
absolutely.
really darn fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could do everything for the Leo work, the WODs. You could do everything for that
Absolutely.
easily.
Yep,
So,
100%. So
yep.
you started building out the garage.
Yeah, so I built out the garage, and then we moved to Colorado fairly shortly after that, and I found a box really close to the house there, and that's when I really got to work out in a box on a consistent basis, and started having a lot of fun with it. That's where I met Becky Harsh.
Oh,
That
sure.
was She was one of the coaches there, and she at that time she was like, maybe you should get deeper into this. Maybe you should coach. Um, and so then, right about when that happened, I got transferred to Nashville for work. But then shortly after that, became a coach. That was in 2011. And then got my L1. You had mentioned a couple times last week, Bethany or Mike G and
Oh,
Bethany,
yeah.
and it was at their box
Okay.
in North Atlanta, I think.
It's
Yeah.
from Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. And Chuck Carswell was there. Christmas Abbott was there.
Good old
And
dirty
Sarah Wilkinson.
crew.
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, then shortly after that, I started coaching at a box about a half hour south of me, and I coached there for about 6 years. And then my job location changed, so it took too long to get there. And about that time, there was one open here. I'm actually in Spring Hill, which is south of Nashville. So I coached there at a box for 3 years, and then when the pandemic hit, they shut down. And then I was in my garage ever since. So it's been about 3.5 years that I've been just almost principally in my garage. Just recently started coaching again at another box, so now I can work out at that one as
Oh,
well.
very
Yeah.
cool. And when you went from the affiliate closed down during the pandemic, you
Mhm.
found yourself in the garage,
Yep.
and was it just some Google searching that led you to Linchpin, or how did you find us?
So at the box that closed, there was a couple of coaches there, and one of them, Daniel, I'm sure he's going to see this. Hi, Daniel. But we were talking one day, and we didn't like the programming that was happening. It was the strength metcon, and there was a streak of 2 weeks where every single day there was some sort of squatting movement. Most of it was kind of medium heavy, and so it was just like, I'm done with this. I need to find something else. So I was looking around trying to find my own stuff, and he says, "Hey, you got to see this Linchpin stuff." And I think I started following it like an hour later.
Appreciate it,
But
Daniel.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, the funny thing is I at first I was like, Linchpin, that sounds kind of hokey, that's kind of like extreme or something like that. And he goes, "Oh, it's Pat Sherwood." I was like, "Oh, I know that name, right?" And so yeah, he scrolled through the app and showed me a few of the workouts, and I was like, okay, I like this. I like where this goes, and I think I followed it for, that was 2018, I think, and then that was when the gym was still open. I think I signed up in 2019, and just ever since have been enjoying it. Yeah, it's great.
Very, you working out, is it still solo in your garage, or have you drug anyone in there with you?
So when everything shut down, I drug 3 or 4 people in with me. The box actually gave out a bunch of their equipment. They weren't sure how long it was going to be, so they kind of loaned out their
Hmm.
equipment. And so I think I had 3 or 4 people. After it would be late afternoon, they'd come over and we'd work out. Um, and then I ended up buying all the stuff that I was borrowing from them. I ended up buying stuff on my own. And then slowly people kind of started petering out. And then for the last 6 months to a year, I've been training with my daughter.
Well, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, so she doesn't she doesn't like me to tell her, go work out, let's do it. But once she gets going, she's like, all right, this isn't so bad.
How old is she?
She's 13.
Oh, well, that's really
Yeah.
cool. And
So
that's my hope, that one day my daughter sees my wife and I work out in the garage, and she
yep.
plays around and tries to mimic the movements. But we'll see if,
Yeah.
when the time comes, if she actually wants to join in some way, shape, or
Yep.
form. That would be so
It
awesome.
it
Does your
is.
daughter do it
Yeah.
just, do you think, to be with you? Is it monkey see, monkey do? Is she an athlete? What do you think's her motivation
It's
there?
it's a little bit of, I'm gonna say a little bit monkey see monkey do, but I'd say mostly because she's an athlete. She plays travel hockey,
Oh,
and so this is one of those things that a number of coaches that she's had over the last couple years have said, "Oh yeah, you should do that," and then they find out that I do it, and they say, "Oh yeah, you should really do that." So that's kind of how it came about, and now at the new place that I'm coaching, there's a couple coaches that are like, "Yeah, are you going to show up for the 5:30 class? Yeah, are you going to bring your daughter?"
oh, that's cool.
So it's like, yeah, I'll bring her. Great, see her there. They don't care about me as much as they want to see her there. So that's been kind of a fun thing the last
Did
couple of
she
weeks.
did she start to, for all the parents out there, did she start to express an interest and come in on her own accord, or was there a little bit of, kind persuasion from you? Did you just luck out? Because, the reason I asked,
Yeah.
our two older boys, who are 11 and 13, they're they're very athletic and they play a bunch of different sports, but they don't work out. Even though they
Hmm.
see their mom and I work out all the time,
Yeah.
and they don't have an interest in working out. We'll have little conversations every now and then. I never force it, because I think that will
Right.
not go anywhere good and they'll hate it. I just
Hmm.
want them to know this resource is available if you so desire. I think it could
Yeah.
help you in these ways,
Hmm.
etc., etc. But there's never any more pressure than that. But they have yet to step in. It just like breaks my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So we used to drag all three kids with us when we would go to the box that's, farther south. And then even so they were there and they were, I would say 3/4 of the time I would drag them with me and they would, hang in the back. And sometimes they'd play around, and I got videos of them playing with, the PVC pipes and lifting them or doing squats or deadlifts or whatever. And so it's kind of that exposure, that continual exposure, I think made it feel like not something special, right? That's just normal stuff. That's what we do. Or that's what normal people do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think with my two boys, they kind of got to the point where it started getting a little tougher. And I would say at the time was not good enough at scaling or focusing on a workout to create the intended stimulus for them. And so it kind of got to a point where they didn't really like it. And I think I was also in a headspace at the time where there was a while where I'm going to the games. Somehow I'm going to the games.
Right.
And so
Right.
that was not fun for them to be around. It's like, get out of my way. I got to do my squats or,
Yep.
So I think I screwed that one up especially for my two boys. But now that it's become more of no, this is what I do to stay healthy. This is what I do to, to stick around for a long time, to like, grandkids or whatever. They've kind of started gravitating back. And then with my daughter, it was kind of that kind of looks kind of fun. You're running back and forth on the driveway, you're pedaling the bike, you're lifting stuff, you're throwing a medicine ball against the side of the house.
Right.
And let me try that. So
That's cool.
yeah, so it's kind of generating that fun back into it. And then also, I think the biggest thing was being around and seeing enough things to say, okay, if they can't do this, here's something else that I can have them do.
Right.
Rather than a med ball, use a basketball, or that kind of be more inventive about it and make it more fun. And I think the biggest thing, honestly, is that making it more fun. Changing it to a partner workout where, you're both working together. It's kind of like that father-son, father-daughter time. It just, that was a really big one. And ice cream and popsicles.
Well, first of all,
afterwards.
ice cream makes everything better.
Exactly.
What you just said right there, I think might also speak to your evolution or development. I'm not sure the right way to say it is, from back like what you said, when maybe you weren't making things fun. I'm going to the games, the training session is the most important, get out of my way. I think we've all been there. And back in that old mindset, if somebody said, hey, so-and-so is going to join you, your kid's going to join you, whoever, and you're going to, have to slow down every now and then to let them do the catch up, it would have killed you. Be like, what? No, you're going to ruin my workout. I'm not going to get fit. The world just ended. It's so nice to get to a point when you realize, like, that's not the case at all. Like, you're still getting so fit. And even if you have to, for your friend or your child or whatever, stop so that they can do something or help them out, like, it just doesn't matter. It does what matters is you're in there doing the darn workout, and it's okay. So now instead of the workout taking you 12 minutes, it took you 14 because you had to stop a few times. Like, that 2 minutes does not matter in the grand scheme of life. What matters is you got your butt into the garage gym and you did some good movements. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got fitness. That's the key now. So, and now I would also say, to be fair, there was no shot that I was ever going to go to the games. None at all.
No, well,
but I thought there was a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Hopes and dreams are good things. So, for some lighthearted stuff, of all the stuff that comes out of the hopper for workouts and all that,
right?
Whether it's movements or whatever, what makes you smile and what makes you not smile?
It's funny that I was thinking about that. That has changed a number of times, even over the last 10 years. It used to be that if I saw heavy deadlift, heavy squat, 1 rep max, oh man, here we go, right? That was exciting. And now, and some of this is because of, getting injured, and, now doing a 1 rep max back squat or 1 rep max deadlift, you're going to hurt for a week. It's just, so it used to be those, but I think now really I enjoy the heavy to high heart rate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And really I and this, I think there might be a few people that make a comment or two about this, but I'm one of those rare people that has moved from wanting to be strong as, strong
Right.
as some of the other guys, right? To I'm okay giving up strength. I want to get I want to be better at the Metcon. I want more
Yeah.
conditioning. And
Right.
so, yeah, so now, I really enjoy the death by stuff.
Oh, good for you. All
Yeah,
right.
and I think the other thing that I get excited when it comes up, and this is okay, a journey into the weirdness, is that the workouts that other people go, oh, this is gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all over it.
Oh,
Those are the
that's
ones I want to
cool.
do, and not that I'm any good at them, but you throw me test 13, it's like, okay, I'll take all Sunday afternoon to do it, but I like that.
Just
The
grinding.
grinders, yeah, again, not fast, not breaking any speed records, but I know it's going to hurt and it's going to be fun and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to be in the garage or wherever. Stereo's going to be loud. At the end of it, I can, lay down on the floor and say, I did it. I did a good job.
That's
So,
pretty darn cool. That's a superpower,
yeah.
especially if it's, workouts and people go, oh man, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Let's go. Let's go.
Is there, not to put you on the spot, is there anybody in the Linchpin community that you kind of look at and, helps pick you up or fires you up a little bit, or maybe you're chasing them and they don't know that you're chasing them? Anything, any names you want to
Absolutely.
shout out?
Yeah. One of them is Kateri.
Mm.
She every day she shows up, she's doing the work. And you see on Insta, she's working out with her kids in the living room, and the kids are, there's one where she was doing some
She's
kind of
so
box jumping.
strong. Like she'll be doing
Yes.
push-ups and they're like climbing on her back.
Yes. And she's wearing a weight vest
Right.
at the same time. It's amazing, So yeah, she's definitely one that's like I watch what she does and just go, and she does it every day.
Every
It's Leo and
day.
Neo every day. So yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and she just said thank you. So
Oh yeah,
you're
there's
welcome,
yeah.
Siri.
I mean, yeah, it
Yeah,
seems
but
like she's got, not that fake
yeah,
Instagram life. She's got the real
exactly.
life that's
She's the real
hectic and
deal.
busy, and you could
Absolutely.
probably find an excuse every day as to why you can't fit it in.
Yeah.
But she fits it in. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. And I'd say the other ones, and this is just because we're what stage I am in life, are the ones that are the old, I hate to say the word older, but the older athletes, right? The
More
ones that are
seasoned.
seasoned, thanks, that's even better. Yeah. But the ones that are, 50s, 60s, 70s, just because again, they just go, they keep going. And it's not that they, or I can say we now, because I'm in that group, aren't doing anything overly impressive. It's just the day in, day out, working and just, building up that fitness. That to me, that's
Well, I
impressive.
was gonna say, like, that's impressive changes over the years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 20s or 30s, you know, big weight, all that stuff is impressive. But then you drift into your 40s and most people have stopped working out. If you're in your
Yeah.
50s and you're still working out, you're in a very elite company because
Right.
not a lot of 50-year-olds. If you're north of 50 or 60, like you're in single digit percentage wise as far as I'm considered. So the
Exactly.
fact that you're in that season of life, regardless of loading, regardless of what, you're actually just still
Mm-hmm.
doing the darn thing and have the discipline and motivation every day to not sit on the couch, which is so comfortable, and to go into the garage and make it happen.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that gets me fired because this is a long-term game, right? I mean, everybody thinks it's a
Absolutely.
short sprint. Now, this
Yeah.
is a long, you should be looking at your health and fitness over the course of,
Right.
decades and decades. And so whatever you need to do to keep walking in the gym, that's a good decision as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
And I think to add to that a little bit, it's I love, like, in the community, or in the greater CrossFit community, when I see people, brand new people come in, that are in their 30s and 40s, and it's like one of those, look, if you do this right, if you stay smart and do this right, you're going to be doing this for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of sports that I can think of, I mean, I'm sure there are, that, you do in your teens and your 20s, maybe your 30s, that you can keep doing,
Hmm.
you know, and enjoy and stay healthy and not get hurt for a very long time. So I like seeing new people come in. The old people impress the heck out of me, but I like seeing new people come in that have a brain, that aren't just I've been doing it for 9 months, I'm going to the games in 2 years, let's go,
Right,
like,
right.
stop.
Amen to
Stop.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I guess to potentially close out any, even in this game for a while, like you said, gym rat before you found
yeah,
CrossFit, getting into CrossFit all the way back in 2007, which is whatever that was, 16 years
it was a
ago.
long time ago.
Any, advice, lessons learned, anybody just looking to get into it now that, you wish you'd known back in the day?
Yeah, I think the first thing is be smart. You know, um, the biggest mistake I made early on was jumping into Linda, not knowing how to scale.
Right.
Looking at the main site and thinking, yeah, I can do that, and then going and trying and doing it. I'd say the biggest thing is first find Linchpin. you know, and listen to your coaches, listen to the people who've been around for a long time. Um, Actually, a perfect example was this yesterday. The gym I was coaching at, they did Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple new guys that they are strong, they are good, no question. But what I told them is like, look, if you really, really want to get the stimulus out of this that it's designed for, drop the weight on the bar and go unbroken, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, it's squat cleans and ring dips. And one of the guys was like, absolutely not. Nope, I'm going to take that whole 12 minutes and I'm going to just I was like, no, 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 no. Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to feel what Elizabeth's about, go down to 45 pounds and just go unbroken. And he didn't go to 45, but he dropped a lot of weight at the end. He was like, wow, okay. But it's listening to people that have been doing it for a while, people who have had the experience. Just listen to them and don't go in thinking you're going to be the next big thing, because you're going to be the next big thing laying on the floor, hurt, out of action for a couple weeks. Don't do that.
No need to remake the mistakes that some of us have
Exactly.
made.
Yeah.
Trust us that we're not lying to you. We're trying to
Yep.
put you on a better path, and
Exactly.
take really good care of your knees, back, and shoulders,
Yeah.
because you're going to want them for a
Absolutely.
very long time.
Yes. And I think to follow along with that is have fun. Just have fun. It's part of life. Don't make it a lifestyle, but it's part of life that supports the rest
Mm-hmm.
of your life. Yeah.
Well,
I think that's probably the other thing.
I like that a lot, Phil. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for doing this interview today, and thanks for being just a positive force in Lynchpin and being around for so long. It means a lot. And enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy working out with your daughter, man. Super cool.
Sounds good. Have
See
a
you
good
later.
one. Bye.